All right, guys, today we're going to be drawing your fall project. We're going to be creating a pumpkin at night with our shadows and highlights. So the first part, you guys are going to be drawing along with the video. So you will need a pencil and you can share an eraser with someone at your table. So the first thing you're going to draw is your pumpkin in the lower corner, and you can choose the lower right corner or the lower left corner. It doesn't matter. You want your pumpkin to be about 1/4 the size of your paper. So if you picture this divided into fourths, your pumpkin should take up one of those. So I just kind of sketched out an oval shape. If your pumpkin is taller or flatter, it doesn't matter, because pumpkins in real life have a lot of variety. And then your moon is going to go in the opposite upper corner of your pumpkin. So if you drew yours on the left like mine, we're gonna put our moon up here. If you drew yours in the right, your moon is going to go up here. And you're gonna sketch a smaller circle up in this corner. Okay, so then at the top of my pumpkin, I'm gonna draw a kind of squished circle, sort of like a smaller oval shape. That's gonna tell me where the stem goes. And I left a little bit of space above it as well. So now we're gonna start turning this oval into a pumpkin with our curved lines. So you're gonna start at the bottom of this top oval and draw a curved line connecting to the bottom. So if you are doing this in the opposite corner, I have one that's kind of already sketched. You're gonna do everything the reversed way. So you're gonna start on the bottom of your oval and do a curved line going to the left. So here's pumpkin on the right, pumpkin on the left. So then you're just gonna repeat that a few times. So start at the top. Now I'm kind of moving my pencil to the side. Curve line to the bottom. It's kind of starting to look like a beach ball. And then I'm going to do that probably 2 more times. So you'll notice as I'm curving, I'm starting to match up with this bottom edge of my pumpkin. So you're going to start to run out of room to do a full curve. And then this back curve, you're only gonna see a little bit, so you're gonna curve like this, and then it's gonna just blend into the side. Okay, and then we're gonna leave the rest of the space right there for the stem. So now I'm gonna repeat the same on the opposite side of the pumpkin, except this time I want my curves to go the other way. So I'm starting at the bottom of my oval, spaced over from my first curve. This time I curve to the left. And I'm going to repeat this all the way over to the edge until it starts to blend in with the side. And then I'm going to leave the rest of that space for the stem. Okay, so now we're gonna give this a little bit more dimension because it's still looking like a beach ball. So we need to start making these curves look like those ridges or bumps on a pumpkin. So on the bottom edge, I'm gonna start drawing like a bump down, and these are going to curve down and back up where it goes up to the next curve. And you'll see that I have a little pencil line. So that first circle, this is why we drew super light at first. I've got a little pencil line that I can just erase. So then this one that blended in with the edge, I'm gonna curve past the edge and back up where my second curve starts. If you're doing this on the opposite pumpkin, it's gonna be the same thing, just going the opposite way. So this one that is blending into the edge, I'm gonna come up a little bit, and then when I get to the edge, I'm gonna curve in just slightly so that I can see that it is another ridge right there, instead of just a smooth line all the way down. Then you can start to erase those pencil lines that you don't need anymore. Okay, so then it's the same thing for the opposite side. So I'm gonna go down past my original line and back up. This one kind of made that shape on its own. All right, so now we're gonna start on the stem. So you're gonna start on the edges of this oval that you made and just kind of draw a rectangular shape. Mine kind of slants over to the side, just try to make it like a pumpkin stem. And then you can draw like a small oval at the top. Then you'll want to erase the top of your oval and that pencil line that was going through your stem. Okay, so then these back ridges, we can start doing those now that our pumpkin stem is drawn. So I'm going to just draw a little bump back here, kind of going above that original circle line I had. And then same thing with this one. So I'm gonna go above that line and curve in, just so it shows another little bump right there. And then erase that first sketch. This one has kind of a big space, so I'm going to draw one more in here. All right, so there our pumpkin is finished. So now we're going to draw the grass line. Your grass is going to slope diagonally behind your pumpkin. So if you drew yours on the left, you are going to start kind of in the center of your paper on the left side and start a diagonal slope that goes behind your pumpkin and slopes down to the opposite side. So if you're doing this for the pumpkin on the right, you're gonna start on the right side of your paper. Do a diagonal line sloping down to the left. So we're going to be using a few colors for this. We're going to be using white and yellow, orange, red, a little bit of brown for our pumpkin. We're also going to be using white for our moon. So for your highlights, you always want to start with the lightest first, and for us that's white. And you always want to match your highlights to the same side as your light source. So our moon is shining the light. That means if I drew a line, that means that the light would be shining on this part of the pumpkin. So if you did the pumpkin on the opposite side, you would find your light source, and your light would be on the left side of your pumpkin. So just think about your light source is directly opposite your highlights. So I'm gonna start with my white, and I'm just gonna start making some like dash marks on the top third of my pumpkin. So I want to focus on the left side because that's opposite my moon. And I'm not doing this on the stem quite yet, so just the orange part of the pumpkin. And I'm doing this in dash marks because those will be easiest to blend. So if I hold this up for you, you can see that I'm doing dash marks going down towards the center of the pumpkin. It's okay to see some paper behind. You don't want so much paper. Like if you are doing dash marks like this, I can still see a lot of gray. That's going to be really hard to blend. So you want to put them close enough together that it looks mostly white. And then I'm going to do a little bit on the back because the light would be touching that part as well. Okay, so next I'm gonna get my orange, because this is our medium color in our pumpkin, and I'm gonna fill in the rest of the space. And I'm gonna use my dash marks again. So that's in here. You might notice my dash marks go the same direction as my pumpkin ridges. So I'm not going this way across my pumpkin. I'm going down in that kind of curved half circle shape. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding in some shadows. So I'm gonna use my red for this. I'm gonna go along the ridges of my pumpkin. And then I'm also gonna add some red dashes on the bottom for the shadow. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a yellow. This is gonna be our blending tool. So you're gonna start with the lightest areas first, and you're gonna blend the yellow kind of into the orange and over the white. And then you can go down into the red. And that just kind of starts to smooth everything out. So we do the lightest parts first because your oil pastel is gonna get really dirty for this. So if you start to get too much orange, you can flip your paper over and kind of clean it off and then go back and start to blend some more. So now I'm trying to make all those dash marks disappear. You can blend right over those crease lines that we drew with red in the centers. What you don't want to do is just color over the whole thing like this. You want to always stay in the same curve that you drew. So if you start to color opposite your curve, it's going to smear that red going this way, and we don't want that. We want to keep our curve lines going down. So once you have your side with the white done, then you can start to move to the opposite side and do the solid orange side. Okay, and then the last thing you're gonna do on your pumpkin is use your brown, and you are just gonna create a little bit more definition in that shadow side. So the shadow side is opposite the highlight side, so the back of your pumpkin. You're gonna take your brown kind of towards the bottom, just go up in those ridges one more time. This is only on the shadow side, so this side we're gonna leave red. You can add a little bit down at the shadow or the bottom of your pumpkin too. That just kind of makes the shadow pop a little bit more and stand out. Gives your pumpkin a little bit more definition. Okay, so for your stem, it's going to be the same except for with white and green and yellow. You can use light green or dark green. And you're gonna do a highlight on the highlight side of your pumpkin. So for this pumpkin, it's the right side. So I'm just doing half, the right half in white. And then I'm going to do the opposite half in green. And actually I'm gonna add a little bit of darker green. So we're gonna do dark green, then light green, then white in thirds. And then the very top of your pumpkin, that squished oval, that's just gonna be solid dark green. Okay, so then just like we did with the pumpkin, you're gonna blend everything with yellow. You need to make sure your yellow is clean first. Mine has a lot of orange and red. So I'm gonna flip my paper over, clean off my pastel. And then I can start blending into my stem. So I'm always gonna start lightest first and work my way backwards into the dark green. A little bit of white on top of that yellow to make it brighter than the pumpkin. Make it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so the last step today is we're gonna do the ground. You're gonna need a dark green and a light green for this. Your light green is going to be on the top of the diagonal because that's closest to the moon. And the dark green is going to be underneath that, okay? So when you're doing this, you can outline first with a light green. And then after you outline, you're going to make your dash marks go opposite your hill. So since my hill is going from the right to the left, my dash marks are going to go from the left to the right. So I'm just gonna do like small dashes like this, and that will help show a difference between my hill and my pumpkin. Obviously, when I get to the pumpkin, I'm trying really hard not to get it on top of that. just like we did on the pumpkin, try to make your dash marks close together so that it's easier to blend. So you're gonna do this for about 1/3 of your hill. Okay, and then after you have your light green done, then you're gonna do the same with dark green. I'm gonna cross over my light green, and I'm gonna fill the rest with the dark green dashes all the way down to the bottom. The last thing after this is you're gonna use a white, just like you did with your yellow, and you're gonna blend everything together. So you're gonna start at the light green, and you're going to color this time, so not dashes, but you can see when I'm coloring on top of my light green and dark green, it's starting to blend it together. So I'm trying to keep it in that same direction that I drew my dash marks. And the last thing we're gonna do today is add the sky. So first we are going to need the colors white, light blue, dark blue, and purple. So we're gonna start with the white. You're gonna color in your moon solid with white. So then we're gonna go back to using our dash marks. We're gonna start with the light blue around the moon. So you're just gonna make dash marks that curve in a circle around your moon. You're going to do this for about maybe like 1/4 of your sky. And again, you can have some paper showing through for this because we will blend it all together with the white at the end. So next I'm gonna move to dark blue. I'm gonna cross over my light blue and start making dark blue dashes. And I'm gonna do this for about 2/4 of my sky. So even though you are getting further away from your moon, your lines should still be curved so that it can show that glowing ring around the moon. And over here, I'm being careful not to get it onto my pumpkin. Okay, and then the last part of the sky is gonna be purple. So I'm gonna cross my purple over my dark blue, go all the way down to the grass, and fill the rest of the space with purple. Okay, so then I'm gonna use my white and I'm gonna blend everything together just like I did with the grass. This time I'm gonna use regular like coloring motion. And I'm gonna start at the lightest color first. So for us, that is light blue. So I'm gonna start coloring in and just go all the way through my colors. You can do this in kind of like sections if you want. That might be a little bit easier than doing like all around like this, but it's up to you. So I'm gonna go back and do the same thing in my next section and just try to like smooth everything out.